Welcome back to the channel, everybody. It has been a minute since I made a video. Been a lot of stuff going on. I'm sure you guys understand that. Today is the day before Thanksgiving. We are currently sitting at 72,000 and change on the 5.0. I figured this would be a good chance to make an update video on it now that we're almost at 75,000 miles, as well as I happen to be going to dump the trailer that we got behind us. So make a quick little towing / 75,000 mile review of the old rig here. Now that we are getting on the road, I'm gonna go ahead and reset the fuel economy so you guys can get a good look there. This is about 20 miles to the dump station is all, so nothing too crazy, but it'll give you fairly reasonable idea. Usually it gets like 10 miles a gallon, give or take. So overall, talking about the truck itself, the truck has been good, 75,000 miles almost now. No issues to speak of. Do oil changes, maintain it on time. It is good to go. For those of you who are curious, this is a 331 rear end truck. I would like the 373s, but the reality is I drive 40 miles each way for work every day, and I do that a lot more than I tow the trailer. And the trailer, this trailer here particularly, is not egregiously heavy. It's around 7,000 pounds empty, so throw all your stuff in there. I mean, we're probably talking 8. I usually don't tow it with water in it. So overall, yeah, it's about 8,000 pounds. And the truck tows it, I would put it in the adequate category. It's definitely not a heavy duty replacement. I know people kind of debate nowadays if you can get away with towing stuff with a half ton, and you certainly can. Like, I never feel stressed out towing this trailer with this truck, but it's also far from anything like towing with an old heavy duty by any means. So don't let anybody tell you otherwise as far as that goes. But in terms of power and stability and everything, like I say, it's certainly adequate. For those of you who are new to the channel, this truck, obviously, it's got about 75,000 miles. Most of that is my commute, like we were talking about, but I do have a small boat. I have this trailer. We bust out a few times a year, and I tow side by side here and there. So overall, the truck does a fair amount of towing, but it's not nearly enough to really justify, say, a heavy duty, as much as we would all love to have one. In general, this truck does everything that I needed to very well, and it's been a really good rig. Like I say, if you're looking for something to replace, quote unquote, a heavy duty, this is not what that is. But I fall just right in that category of the perfect half-ton truck owner. That decent commute, so the ride quality, the space, all that stuff is nice. Combine that with a camp trailer when we're going hunting, or towing the boat when we're going fishing, or whatever, right? So overall, the truck's been fantastic. That's a short review if that's what you're after, but we'll get a little more detailed here in just a minute. If you guys are followers of the channel, you've seen the truck, obviously, but in general, it's just a more basic XLT. Only real options are the bigger screen, and I guess it has lane keep, but I turn that off most of the time. That's really what I wanted. I know that sounds kind of silly nowadays. Everybody likes all the fancy bells and whistles, but if you guys don't know, I'm a sales and fleet manager at a dealership in Tempe, Arizona. If you guys are interested in anything, I'll leave my email down below with the website and everything. But aside from the point, I really just wanted a good basic V8 truck. Seems like most of the issues that I see on vehicles nowadays, at least around where I work, and not just one brand, but like all of them, is all the technology, the sensors, the adaptive cruises, the whatever. The big screens are a little bit of a culprit, but not so much nowadays for the most part. So overall, I just wanted something that I didn't really have to worry about. And the 5-liter, the 10 speeds are a little shaky. I know they have a bit of a reputation, but overall, the 5-liter F-150s with not a ton of options is really one of the more reliable platforms out there these days, in my opinion, and kind of seems to be true across the board overall. So it's really, like I say, we're at 75,000 miles almost with virtually no hangups. Every once in a while, the transmission feels a tiny bit clunky, but you know, that happens here and there. It has the active air dam fault here and there after I went hunting a couple times and it got real dirty. It doesn't seem to want to function as well anymore, but I really don't care about that, right? That's really it. In modern day, with the modern day vehicles, to have 75,000 trouble-free miles is pretty rock solid. It tows, like I say, adequately enough. It does good for me. It tows the boat, the side-by-side, the camp trailer. Does what I need it to do without really giving me any fuss. And overall, you can't ask for much better than that. And the fuel economy on this engine is ridiculous. I have, like I say, 40 miles each way. Most of it's freeway, and I go handsomely above the speed limit, around 80 allegedly. And I get like 19.5 miles a gallon according to the computer, so don't fight me and say that it's not hand calculated. You're right, but the computer usually says 19.5, 20 miles a gallon. So even if it's 18, that's pretty good for going 80 that much all the time. Really, there's not a lot to complain about with these trucks these days. With the 331 versus 373 argument, of course, the 331's, I don't know if sluggish is the right word off the line, but definitely doesn't have a ton of low-end punch in the 5.0s. You just don't, right? I kind of knew that going in. It was what it was. Once you get up to speed, especially towing nowadays, we could still debate about the 373s, and I understand the torque multiplier and all that stuff, but in general, nowadays, once you get up to speed, the transmission will just pick a gear that it's happy in. Ultimately, most of the time towing this trailer, it's say 70 miles an hour, just sit in 7th gear, which is fine. It's a 1-to-1. I get about 10 miles a gallon. That's perfectly fine with me, right? I don't need much more than that. Like I say, it does what I need it to do adequately. 70 miles an hour on flat ground, we sit in 7th gear, we get about 10 miles a gallon. Overall, that works, right? It does the job. That's all I really needed to do. To give you guys an idea of off the line, obviously I'm not stepping on it by any means, but it does just kind of take a second to get up and go, and that's nature of the beast with the combination of a 331 rear with a V8, right? Especially a V8 that makes its power higher in the RPMs like this one does. It just is what it is, right? You live with it, you move on. We could have a debate about it, I get it, right? But in general, it does fine. But just like I was talking about, even here at 55 miles an hour, we're just hanging out in 7th gear, as you guys can see, right now we're getting a little over 10 miles a gallon, only going 55, but hanging out 55 miles an hour down the road, 7th gear, like 1900 RPMs, 1950, something like that. That is perfectly fine for anything I'm doing and what most people are doing. It does just fine. One big thing I will touch on, and shame on Ford for this, the mirrors that come with these trucks, the non-tow mirrors, are atrociously small. They are horrific. Thankfully, we have our friends over at Boost Auto to help us out with these tow mirrors, or I would not be able to see a damn thing towing this trailer. So big thanks to them for hooking us up with the mirrors. If you guys don't know, they make all kinds of automotive accessories, and it's very, very high quality stuff. These mirrors were super easy to install. It was like 2 wiring harnesses and 4 bolts or something like that. No brainer, super easy, anybody could do it. They make some of the best quality accessories I've ever seen. If you guys are interested in anything, make sure you check out the link down below. All right, y'all, we are merging onto the freeway here when we are clear. You guys will see, obviously, I'm not flooring it or anything. This is just kind of regular acceleration, 40-50% throttle, something like that. Just kind of cruising. Surprisingly, when you set the cruise on this thing, like if you resume the cruise, it is very aggressive. So we are going to go ahead, just get up to speed here. Let's see what we're working with. This kind person let us over. That's really rare nowadays for whatever reason. Slide over here. Looks like there's some traffic, but hopefully not too much. And then we are just going to set our cruise here at 70, like we were talking about earlier. We will just cruise and let the truck do its thing. It's going up just this tiny little grade here. You can see we're in 6th gear, about 3,000 RPMs. If I remember right, peak torque in this engine's like 4,200 RPMs or something like that. So nothing too frightening to be hanging out at 3,000 RPMs. Now that we're back, not on the slope, we're back in 7th gear, just cruising along. 70 really is easy here. It's really kind of impressive for a half ton. I honestly thought that this might buck us around a little bit more, and even in real windy conditions, obviously I have the sway control and the bars and all that stuff, so it really is no big deal. I've taken this trailer a few places, and the truck does fine. Like I said, I think the best way to describe it is adequate. It's not like towing with a heavy duty. It's there, you notice it, but it's not white knuckle either. It's just pay attention and you're fine. Been cruising along for a little while, still nothing overly exciting to report, just going down the road at 70, cruising, everything's easy. Like I say, I do think in the half-ton segment, these trucks are a very good choice nowadays. I like the Hurricanes from Ram, and they have the Hemis again, obviously. The 6.2s have their concerns, not a big Tundra guy. I like the EcoBoosts overall. Obviously, any of those turbo engines, you have that potential for more hiccups, but in general, they've been making that engine for a long time now, right? So overall, they're pretty squared away from what it seems like. In general, as much as all the new stuff is cool, man, it is hard to beat the V8s. Obviously, I do have a little bit of an exhaust setup on this one, so it sounds good, tows well, does everything well. Like you guys can see, all the temperatures, everything is right, hanging out right where it should be. It never gets hot. It never anything. There's never anything to worry about. It just works. The truck just works all the time. Haven't really had any hangups. I guess if that's the review you're looking for, I enjoy the 5.0. It's been a good truck for me. Right now we're even in 8th gear, just kicking it. Now we're back to 6th. It does 8 to 6th all the time to gain back what it lost in 8th, and then just sits in 7th. I don't know why it doesn't just stick in 7th. I guess I could lock it out of 8th, but I'm not overly concerned about it. But yeah, overall, guys, it's been a really good truck. I hope everybody has a good Thanksgiving. Make sure you subscribe. Drop a comment down below what you think. If you have any questions, concerns, comments, let me know. But other than that, I hope everyone has a good Thanksgiving, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, all that good stuff, and we'll see you in the next video.